Okay, guys, full disclosure, I did turn the heat up in here, but in my defense, it was super cold when I first walked in, and now I'm overheating, so this is gonna be great. Also, we're starting standing, so this is gonna be fun and exciting. Sorry, guys. Today's not as torturous as it was on Tuesday. I'm so sorry about that. If I scared you in the first week, please don't be afraid to come back. Again, Pilates, you can always take a break. I will not be offended if we're in the middle of a movement and you're taking a drink of your water or you're just taking a break from the movement in general. There's always a movement that's going to be troubling for somebody and easy for somebody else. Take modifications when you need them. If you don't know of a modification, feel free to ask me. I'm more than willing to give you one. And if you have your own modification that you'd like to use instead, feel free to do that as well. We're all just here so that we can get a good workout in and hopefully feel our abs tomorrow. Other than that, we're just going to start with like standing at the tops of our mat. We're going to have our feet shoulder width apart, just working on a little bit of bracing. Bracing is pretty important as we go through the movements of this class. Just kind of standing here in that mountain pose, palms facing forward, trying to line up your hips, slight bend in those knees. For those of us who like to arch our back a lot, we're actually going to tilt the pelvic floor up and underneath, squeezing the butt cheeks a little bit. Just hold here. If you have a watch, don't forget to start it. I know some people don't like that because if you don't record the workout, apparently it doesn't count. We're just going to hold here, focusing on that deep breathing in through the nose, expanding through the belly, and exhale out through the mouth. And that bracing doesn't have to be at 100%. You can relax the shoulders a little bit. You want to keep yourself straight, keep yourself in balance, in check. And on our next deep breath in, we're just going to slight bend the knees and reach the right arm overhead. Shifting back, let's lift the left arm over, really reaching through those fingertips, kind of trying to pull, keep that arch, but lift the chest up. And back to the other side. Still focusing on that bracing here. Paying attention to which muscles you're using as you move. A little bit of grounding. Squeezing the floor with your toes. Pressure through all four corners of your feet. We're going to add a little windmill in here now, so let's move forward and shift all the way over. Same thing for the other side now. Keeping that breath, keeping a steady rhythm, moving, warming up the body. This time we're going to add in that pointed toe out, so go ahead and kick it out. It's going to be just like ballet yesterday, huh? And then switch to the other side. Trying to activate through the legs a little bit more. Still breathing. Couple more each side. Last one. And let's fall all the way forward, coming into that forward fold. Alternate bending each leg. And a little bit of a stretch to the backs of our legs here. Just letting that upper body relax, lengthening through the spine. You can grab onto each elbow if that feels a little bit better. We're just going to rock side to side here, swinging to the left and to the right. Take another deep breath in, bring your hands to the floor. Let's bend that right knee and walk our hands all the way over to the left, straightening out that left leg. A little bit more of a stretch through the hips, but still aiming for that stretch in the back of the leg as well. Another deep breath, and we're walking to the right, bending that left knee, targeting that stretch through the hips. Another deep breath in. Let's come back to center. All we're going to do, keep our legs straight, bending that left knee, reach our right arm up into the air, adding that mobility through the upper body as well. And lower down, switch to the other side. Bending the right knee, lift the left arm. Reach back as far as you can, and just keep alternating. This is a pace that feels comfortable for you, so that you can increase your mobility, find a bit more depth through the stretch. Feel good for the lower back as well. Let's do one more on each side. And the last one. Finding that full forward fold. Let's go ahead and walk our feet back a little bit till we get to that high plank position here. So we're engaged at the core. We have that flat back. We're lifting. We're still braced, tucking that pelvic floor up and in. Squeeze the cheeks. Palms are going to be stacked directly under our shoulders, holding that plank, and we're just going to rock forward and back. Warm up those shoulders. Keep that core engaged. Really wanting to focus on good form so we get good quality within our movements as well. Can be really easy when something gets hard to just try to sprint through it. And this time, next time we shift back, we're going to shift our hips all the way up into the air. Find that downward dog. Feel free to bend each knee, alternating, lifting our heels up off the mat, pedaling those feet out. It's like we're trying to press our ribs into the tops of our thighs. Lifting through the navel, keep that tail high in the air. Use your back to stay braced. Try to keep that pressure off your wrists. And if you'd like, start slowly trying to add in a double heel lift maybe. Lift up, squeeze those calves, and lower. Try and get that all around warm up here. Do a couple more. Keep that shoulder strength, core still braced. Last one. We're going to step our left foot to the outside of our left hand and our right foot to the outside of our right hand, finding that full floor squat. Nice stretch for the hips. I know Tuesday was a little aggressive, so we just want to get a really good warm up and a really good stretch before we start getting right into today's workout. If this is difficult for you, feel free to take both hands, place them on the floor in front of you, and you can just slowly work towards getting both heels directly on the mat, whatever variation feels more comfortable. And then we're going to come all the way down into that seated position, starting with that core portion of our workout. All we're going to do is grab the backs of our thighs and do a little core activation, so lowering down, lower our chin to our chest, and lifting back up. Exhale, squeeze the core, lower down, and inhale, lift. Really trying to find length through the top of our head as you lift yourself up. Inhale for length, exhale for depth. Slow and in control, really trying to feel each row of your abdominals activating here. This is an activation stretch. So you might not necessarily feel a burn, but you should feel your core working. Try to get one more in. Exhale. Inhale, lift. We're going to stay seated here. Bring our fingertips to our temples. All we're doing is we're going to turn to the right, come to center, and turn to left. Trying to feel those obliques work here as well. Our core is keeping us lifted. Trying to keep those deep breaths with you as you go. And if you're feeling brave, you can add a full extension of those arms. Lean back and lift. Try to do one more on each side if you can. And this time we're going to stay lowered on your next one, and we're just going to rush and twist it out, slow and in control. Staying in that tilted position. Keep those abs working. You've got it. Starting strong. Take those breaks when you need it. 5 more seconds. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Let's lift all the way back. Reach high in the air. If your weights are in front of you, feel free to grab them. And we're just going to lower all the way down slowly onto our back. This next portion. Does the volume of the music keep changing? Okay. The next portion of the workout, we're just going to lift our legs into the air. Find that reverse tabletop position. Go ahead and grab the weight in your right hand and lift that as well, bracing your neck with your left. Again, you're not pulling your head all the way up here. You're just bracing your neck so it doesn't get sore after lifting your head because your brains are so heavy. All we're doing at this point is lowering our legs in the opposite direction of our arm. This is balance work for your core. So your core is still activating, but you're just keeping it slow and in control. Dropping your arm in the opposite direction of your legs. This is also a little bit of work for your pecs too. Depending on how heavy or how much resistance you have on your arm, it might be a lot of work for your pecs. But we're just going to drop and lower. Option to add a little crunch at the top if you'd like. Reaching forward with that right arm, lowering back down, going into a full drop. Trying to feel each row of your abdominals activate here. It's okay to just keep it slow. Muscle growth is built from time over tension, not how many reps you get in. So don't feel rushed. Couple more seconds of these. On your next one, go ahead and stay into that crunch. We're going to build off of this one. So we're crunching, lowering back down. Tap those toes to the ground and crunch to the opposite side. So keep repeating this, alternating sides that you crunch to. Just keep that toe tap slowly lowered down. Building those lower abdominals and then activating those obliques as well. So we're working the full core on this one. $15 more seconds. See if you can get a few more. And on your next crunch, we're going to lift up. But we're gonna go into a full bicycle, alternating our weight under our leg. So we're still staying lifted, keeping that chronic tension through the core, but alternate dropping the legs, exchanging the weight. Last little burner, we'll have a little bit of a break. "15 more seconds, you got it. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Go ahead and drop that weight. Give those knees a hug. Feel free to rock side to side if that feels good to you. Catch your breath. You've got it. All right, getting back into it. Let's go ahead and drop our legs directly behind our glutes. Heels are in line with our hips right now. We're tucking that pelvic floor up and underneath, coming into a little glute bridge, so lifting through the core but squeezing those glutes. Remember that bracing practice that we just had. Find that glute bridge, squeezing at the top, and feel free to lower down. Keep doing those glute bridges. If you'd like, you can add the weights in here. So extending those arms fully overhead. And as you drop through the glute bridge, you can also lower your arms as well. This is going to add a little bit more tension through the core. And lift. Lowering down, squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Keeping all the muscles tight, and lift back up. Trying to lift your hips as high as you can into the air. Still using that breath as well. You have about 10 more seconds, and then we'll add a little more into it. Last one. Go ahead and stay lifted here. Dropping our arms to either side of our body, we're going to add in a little chest fly and combine that with a heel lift. So keeping in that glute bridge, activating those calves, then lowering into that fly, activating those pecs. Lift the heels, lower the heels, chest fly. You've got it. Time it with your breathing. Slow and in control. You only got about 10 more seconds here. You got it. Squeeze those glutes. See if you can lift those hips up a little bit higher. For 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Heels are still lifted. Let's go ahead and lower both of our arms down. We're going to do small little arm circles. We're going to do it 15 seconds one direction, and then 15 seconds we'll switch directions. Keep that tension throughout the chest. Still squeezing all of the muscles here. And switch directions. Circle those arms the other way. Almost done. For 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lifting those weights all the way back up. Go ahead and lower down in that glute bridge. Bring those elbows near those hips, and we're still lifting up. Pressing up, find that glute bridge again into a low press. Core is still engaged. Tuck that pelvic floor up and in. Glutes are a little bit on fire, that's okay. You've got it. 15 more seconds. Almost done here. Similar with those overhead presses, we're gonna lift those glutes up, lift the arms up. This time we're extending the left leg out. Lower those arms, lower the left leg, and then lift back up. Single leg glute bridges can be hard. We're gonna alternate to the other side now. Lower and lift. We're just isolating that one glute here, so it's gonna be tough. That's completely okay. Take breaks when you need to. Try to keep those hips lifted as high as you can. Only about 15 more seconds. Keep breathing. 4, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. We're going to keep those weights lifted up in the air, coming all the way onto our toes again. Lift those heels, and we're just going to pulse it out. Deep breaths. You've got it. 15 more seconds. Squeezing the glutes. 4, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Go ahead and drop those weights. Hug those knees. Give yourself a nice break before we get into the other side. Dropping those legs. Go ahead and grab that weight with your left arm. If you used a weighted right arm, I'd recommend trying to keep it even on this side. All we're doing is dropping the left arm to the left side and drop those legs to the opposite side. Keep that core engaged. Remember that balance that we're focusing on here. Slow and in control. Time over tension is what we need for the results that we are looking for. Only about 5 more seconds. Feel free to add in that crunch after you get to the top. So we're lifting the left arm up, we're crunching, and we're lowering back down into those opposite direction drops. Only a couple more. Last one. Let's go straight into those crunch toe taps. So we're crunching, lower down, tap those toes on the mat, and crunching back up, but to the opposite side. Working the whole abdominal. Fifteen more seconds. Trying to keep your lower back firmly pressed into the mat. You don't want to have that tunnel there. 5 seconds. You got it. Last one. We're going to go ahead and stay lifted and just do those alternating leg drops, passing the weight behind the leg. Last little burner, 15 more seconds, then we'll have a little bit of a break. For 10. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Go ahead and lower that weight down to the ground. Give those knees a nice hug. And we're lifting ourselves all the way up into that seated position. Coming into a little bit of a stretch because that was a lot for the core. Go ahead and reach your right arm up and overhead. Reach to the fingertips. Chest is lifted to the ceiling. And exhale, we're going to drop that chest over to the floor. Another deep breath. Let's windmill over to the other side. Reach for those fingertips. Trying to touch the wall to our right. And lower all the way down to the forearm if that feels good to you. And then we'll drop our chest down to the floor. Feel that stretch shift. Still breathing. Exhale, let's come back to center. We're going to lift up. We're going to kickstand out with that left leg as we keep our hip directly in line with our knee. On our right, option to grab a weight here if you choose. If not, it's completely okay as well. All we're going to do is lower down onto that arm and press. So lift and lower and press. Keep that core engaged the whole time though. Using our back. You can add a little leg lift in if you'd like. Completely up to you. Last one. We're just going to hold and press. Optional lift that leg up if you'd like. Challenge that side glute. But pressing through the back, a little bit of the shoulder. You've got it. For 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Feel free to keep that leg lifted if you'd like. We're going to add in a thread the needle, lift to hip drop. Thread the needle to hip drop. As we drop our hips, we're still keeping those obliques engaged. As we thread the needle, we're activating the core as well. Keeping that sustained lift through the leg is going to activate your glute. Just important to remember to keep breathing. Only a couple more seconds. You've got it. Last one. And then go ahead and thread the needle. Lift that leg, lift that arm, and we're going to pulse it out. Feel free to keep the tempo of the music with you, or just do this at your own pace. Activating the core. 3, 2, and 1. Dropping all the way down. Go ahead and give it a nice mermaid stretch before we get straight into the other side. All right, same thing for the other side now. If you used a weight, definitely recommend using it again just to keep things even. But again, we're stacking our hip over that knee, kickstand out with the right, lifting that right arm up. We'll press, and we'll lift back up. Using the core the whole time here, that should be what's lifting you up into this position. Feel free to add that leg lift if you so choose. Whatever you do, just try to keep it even and similar to what you did on the other side. The slower you go, the harder it is. So if you want to increase that intensity, feel free to add that. Only a couple more seconds here. Last one. We're going to lift that leg and we're just going to press. Keep that core on. 15 more seconds. You got it. Challenge your balance. Challenge your arms. Last one. Just thread the needle and press back up. Thread the needle. Forgot to mention, we have that hip dip as well. So activate those obliques. That's how we get the lines in our stomach, at least on the side. Those are our obliques. Only a couple more. 4, 3, 2, 1. Lifting up, and we'll just pulse it out. Feel free to keep it in with the rhythm or the beat of the music. Last little burner for this exercise. 10 more seconds. You've got it. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Dropping all the way down. Let's find that mermaid stretch. Reach that hand overhead. Deep breaths. Guys, that was tough. Oh my gosh. We're just going to hold here for a little bit. That sounds nice. Another deep breath in. We'll go ahead and rotate all the way into that high plank position. Everyone's favorite. So our shoulders are stacked over the heels of our palms. We're going to step those feet back. Core's engaged. Squeeze through your butt cheeks. Make sure everything's activated here. Whew. And all we're going to do is alternate tapping our knee to our inside elbow, outside elbow, and extend back, lower. Doing it with the other knee now. Inside, outside, extend, and lower. We're almost done of the workout portion today, guys. One little burner after that. After this, and then we're done. Keep that core engaged. We did a lot of core today. A little bit more. One more each side. You've got it. One last little burner, similar to a mountain climber. We're going to bring our elbows or our knees to meet each elbow. The faster you go, more intense this will be. We're going to keep our core engaged. We only got like 20 seconds left. Keep 20 seconds has now turned to 15. Just keep breathing. Core's engaged. Last little burner, guys. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And our knees are going to go on the ground. We're pressing back. Find that child's pose. Next time we'll have a heavy arm day. How about that? Go ahead and just flatten here. Walking your fingertips a little bit further up the mat. Give those arms a break. Feel free to roll out the wrists. If that feels good to you. We're just going to hold here about 5 more seconds, and we'll turn this into a little bit of a flow. Lifting ourselves all the way back up, finding a tabletop position, turning it into an extended cat-cow. So we're going to lower and press back. Highly regretting turning the heat up before class, so I'm sorry about that. Hopefully today wasn't as abusive as Tuesday was, but you guys still worked really hard today. That definitely wasn't easy. Again, just doing this with your own pace. Keep your hips parallel to the floor beneath you. Trying to increase the range of motion, every extension. Let's do one more. We're going to lower our hips down onto the mat and gently come all the way onto our forearms, finding that Sphinx pose. It's also a great pose to get a drink of water in if you're thirsty. And just roll out your neck. Another great pose to roll out your wrists if those planks really took you out. And just catch your breathing here, trying to lift the chest up to the ceiling. We're going to go ahead and lower all the way down. Place your forehead on top of your forearms. We're going to kick that left leg up and over our back. If you can't necessarily do this stretch, feel free to just grab onto that foot as well. You'll still get a nice stretch through that quad. You can even try pulling that leg over and gently working your way into that full twist. Another deep breath in here. Exhale, coming all the way back. Let's kick that right leg up and over. Coming back to center. This time we're just going to grab onto that right or that left leg with our left hand. Feel free to hold here. If you can't grab your foot, that's okay. You're just going to reach. If you can grab that foot, you're just gently going to press the heel into your glute. Pulling it a little bit closer to you. Exhale, letting go with that hand. Go ahead and reach back with your right. Grab onto that right foot. If you want to add in an extra challenge, you can grab onto both of your feet here. I think I just said feet. Anyways, you're going to grab onto both feet here and gently pull the heels closer to you, pressing into your palms with your tops of your foot. Bring yourself all the way into a bow pose. Feels really good for the lower back. Keep that core engaged. And exhale, lowering all the way back down. We're going to find that tabletop position again. We're going to lift up that left hand. Option to kickstand that right leg out if you want more of an inner thigh stretch. And we're going to thread the needle all the way through. Feel free to pick up that right hand and put it in your back pocket. Another deep breath in, gently setting that hand back down, lifting up through the left arm, extra stretch. Coming back into that tabletop position, repeating the same thing for the other side. Go ahead and lift that right arm up and thread that needle all the way through. If you want to increase a little extra depth through the chest, you can stick the left hand in your back pocket. One more deep breath in. And then bring that hand back. Box out with the left arm and reach up. Coming back down. We're going to take both of our hands. I know some people don't feel a stretch here, but you're just going to try to push your arms out to the side till you feel a little bit of tension, maybe through the fingertips, through the biceps. Or you're just going to push out and find a point where those muscles are being stretched. When you hit that point, you want a little extra oomph. You can always pull those fingers back as well. We're going to reach up, interlace those fingers, press the ceiling away from you. Feel free to take little side bends if that feels comfortable. Interlace behind your back. Feel free to full forward bend if that feels good to you. If not, you can just stay here as well. You don't necessarily need to drop forward. Just feel that stretch through your shoulders, through your neck. One last deep breath in, lifting all the way up. Coming to sit on our glutes here. End with the famous final stretches, rolling all the way down onto our back. We're going to kick that right leg up and over. Bring the outside of our right ankle to the top of our left knee. Feel free to stay here if this stretch already feels good to you. Or you can lift all the way up into a seated runner stretch here. You can do it the old-fashioned way and just grab on to your left leg. Gently pull it closer to you. Another deep breath. We're going to send our hands to either side of our body. Gently let those hips fall to the left. Another deep breath in. Let's come back to center. Unhook that right leg from your left. Lift the left, hook it over your right. And take any variation of this stretch that you may choose. If anybody has any music recommendations or themes that they want to go with for next class, let me know, and I will find a playlist. Another deep breath in. We're sending our hands either side of our body. Let those hips fall to the right. Another deep breath. Come back to center. Unhook that left leg from your right. That's going to conclude. I know we're 2 minutes early, but today was still a tough day. Look forward to seeing you all again on Tuesday. With that, have a good night.